normally don't start recording myself. It's always started when I start to talk. What?
Yes, it started.
But it's something is strange now here. It's telling me what I'm talking also in text. Do you have it also in the chat?
No.
I don't know what I did, but now I see everything I say in English will be texted on my screen, and it's really good.
We don't see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even
that's
better,
great.
but we don't see it.
It's annoying because I don't want to see it myself. I just want to be sure I have this recording going on. Oh, it's annoying. I don't want to see my. Okay. Yeah, we go on. So.
According to my screen, the recording is on anyway.
Yeah, it's perfect. Great. So we're going to create a car class, and I told you that you should learn how to write the classes. But there is some help also in Visual Studio with something called snippets. So this is, you've been seeing I was using the CW for the control right line. So that's actually also inside the class. If you want to make a property, you could write prop and double press on tab. And you will get like a default property that you could use to. So, but you need to know how to write it without help. But I just mentioning that it is possible to have it. So when you get this, you could write like change the type and the property name. So that is, you will get some help from Visual Studio. So I'm gonna have like we had yesterday. I have two properties inside my class, and I want to create a constructor for this. So I will be forced to use these two when I create a new car object. So creating an object out of a class was like a template or a copy, or what you could say. So you're also always using the class to create object from. Yeah, I'm going to add a constructor inside here. You know, for constructing a new object, you have to use the constructor in this case, and you all remember how to write it. If you don't, you could try. You could try the help from Visual Studio also. You could like right click on the class, for example. You could find something called quick actions and refactorings. And you could press Control plus dot also to get the same. And this will give you some options. So you will have like, you could move the file, this class to a file. You could generate a constructor, and there's some other help things that you could use. So I'm going to use this generate constructor now. And it's asking me what parameters do I want inside this constructor. So I'm going to tell I want to brand the model, and they are already clicked in, so I just press OK. So it's creating this for me. So this is just to mention that there are some snippets inside that you could use. And this is not snippet, this is actually part of the Visual Studio, so it's built into your Visual Studio. So it's pretty easy to create these things, but you should learn how to write them without the help also. So just mentioning it. So we're going to use these now. We're going to create objects and so on, but we're also going to introduce list. Instead of an array, we're going to use a list. And we're going to do first without the class. We're going to do just a list with a string, so you will see that it works with almost any type of data. So writing a list, that is, this is what we want, but you will see it's getting red right away. And this is because we haven't said we are going to use list yet. So if you move the mouse over the list here, you will see that it says the name list does not exist in the current context. And there's also a blue link here telling you show potential fixes. And the same here, you could use the control plus dot to access this help. So you could press this one, and you will get some suggestion on what you could do. And we're going to choose this top one, telling using system.collections.generic. And this is because the list is part of this namespace. So I get it in the top here now, you will see I have using system.collections.generic. So now I will be able to continue with this list. You will see that it turned green, so it was white from the beginning. So the list could be of any type of data. So it could be like a string, which would contain only one string. So I could do it like make a variable name out of this. So this list will now have a name here. I'm going to call it car brands. And I'm going to say that this is equals to new. And Visual Studio will pop up with a suggestion here with list string. And you will end it with parentheses. So now I created a list that is containing strings, and it has a name of car brands. So this is almost like an array. So I could add data inside this car brands now. So I could do it easily by typing car brands dot add, for example. And it's asking for a string item to be the input parameter. So I could do my Volvo here, for example. With this line, I added Volvo to the list of cars, the car brands. Actually, is the name. So I could do the same thing with a Saab also, car brands add. But this has nothing to do with the class car I created. This is just me creating a list that is containing strings. So this is pretty much like the string array we've been using. The list has more functions, so built in already from start, so it will be easy to use. So if we run, I'm going to add like this console read line that I have in the end in all my applications to stop it from running. So if I add a breakpoint, you remember what the breakpoint was? It's to stop the code at that point where you have this red dot. So I will run this code, and it will do everything that is in the code here. And when it reaches this point, it will stop, and I will be able to see the variables inside the code. So I will be able to see what the car brands is containing. So we're going to do that. So the console application is running in the background on my other screen. So it's just showing hello world, because that is the only output we have here. But now we stopped here, and we have the breakpoint, and I will see, for example, inside the locals window here, I could see that the car brands having two items in the list, Volvo and Saab. And you remember also that you could right click on any variable and choose, for example, Quick Watch. You will be able to see the same list in a little bit bigger way, bigger dialog box. So this is just refreshing and repeating some of the things we've been doing last week also. So I think you should remember this debug thing with the breakpoint. So it's if something goes wrong in your code and you don't understand why do I not get any value inside my variable, for example, you could add a breakpoint wherever you want to stop the code and start checking if what could have been wrong in my code. So that's it. We're going to print this out to the console screen also. Just repeating the things. I could remove the breakpoint here. So like we did before. For each loop, we could go for we're going to loop inside the car brands, and it's a list of strings. So string is the type I have in the list, and I name it car. So this car, it could be anything. It could be item, or it's just something that I'm making up that I could use in my code. But the important part is this in car brands. So this is what I'm interested in. So doing a console write line is just adding car inside here. So it will print out the car. So we could try that. So you will see, we will get the Volvo and the Saab will be printed out. And this, we have been using the list now, so pretty much the same as the string array we've been using. So you will see probably when you're watching the plural sites and so on, they would most likely in the for each, it would look like instead of string, it would be var, for example. So this var is accepting everything. So you don't have to know exactly, but I think it's better if you learn to use the correct type. This var is automatically detecting what type it is and making this car in this case, it's recognizing it as a string because it knows what's inside the car brands. So you will see this in many examples. They're using a var. But try to learn to use the correct type from the beginning. Then you can move on to var. So in this case, we know it's a string. So I'm going to use string. So we're going to use the car class now also. And we could add it down here, it doesn't matter. So we're going to create a new object out of the car class. So I'm going to do car, that is the type or the class, and I'm going to create a variable, an object. I'm going to call it car1. This equals to a new car. You will see now, because we have one constructor inside the class, we are forced to use the input also. So we could not. This is not possible to do anymore. If you want to do this, we need to add the default constructor to the class. So this is forcing us now to. We have to insert a brand and a model. Like that. So now I inserted the brand and the model. So I created a new object out of the car class. I'm going to do another object also, going out from the same car class and creating object car number 2. So this, remember that this name could be anything, the variable name you are using. But it's good to have something that is easy to find out what it is. So there are some recommendations how to name them and so on, but we're not going to go into that part yet. So I'm going to create a new car again here. I'm going to do a Saab this time. And it would be a 900. No 900 like that. It has to be a string. Like that. So now I have 2 cars. And I want to add these to a list. I cannot add it to this list because this list is just of strings. So I'm going to create a new list where I could add my cars. So I will do it before here. Doesn't matter if I do afterwards, but I will do it here. So I'm going to create a list. And this list will be of type car. So I'm telling that I will have a list of the type car. And I'm going to name it. I'm going to name it just cars. And this is equals to a new list of cars. So now I created an empty cars list that is I could start using. And I'm going to use the same commands as I made up here with when we had this add. So this time I'm just going to do cars add. And I add this object now that I have, car1, for example. So the list is taking any type of data that you have available. So this will add the car object inside the cars list. So we could do the same with the other one also. Remember to add it to the same list, so the cars, and add car number 2. So now we have 2 cars in the list. So if you want to print this out, for example, doing the for each again, for each is also having this help. If you do, I thought it would say something. It should have also this double tab, so it will create you a template for this for each. I will try it just to a double tab, and you will see it's creating this section for me. You will see they use var here, so in this. But we're gonna do it the correct way. So we're gonna say that it's not var. We're gonna say it's car is the type we're having inside, and we're gonna call it car. And the collection is our cars. So now when we're gonna print out the data, we will do the console write line here again. But what should we write here then? Could we write like this? Should this work?
Yes, car.
Do you think we get anything out of this? We could try it. Let me see what we have. So this is the result we're getting now here. The first one was that we were made just with a list of strings. This is the second one when we have to create 2 car objects. So you see it's just what it's typing out here is the name of the class. So what we need to do is we need to get out the property of a brand and the model. So you need to write it like this instead. So we don't go car and then we have brand here. So we are accessing the properties inside the object. Now we are printing out the car brand, and if you want to have like the model also, I'm gonna just add some space here, and we could do car.model. So we are reading out the data from the object. So it's not possible to print out the car object without telling what properties to have. You see the difference because the first one we made here was just a string, so we're accessing that right away because we have the string already. So, and the second one is we're having this. We are using the object cars. So we could try this and see that it's also working. We'll see now that now we get the brand and the model for each car. So this is a little bit how it works with lists and having some type of data in the list. So we tried with the string, and we tried it with the car object. Does it make sense, this, or is it mumbo jumbo? Do you understand how it's working? So one person is understanding this. So we need to practice more then. So if you've never used these things, it could look a little bit strange, I admit, but it will get easier later on. Aranya saying it's hard for her, yes, but if you've never seen this before, it could be a little bit frightening from the beginning, but I'm sure you will have it in a few weeks' time. So the thing is to need to work out with this class how it's usable and why we're having it. So this is for reusing the code actually. So we have the same. The car is just looking in one way, so we don't have many cars in different places. So we are always using this one when we are creating a new object. So all objects will have the same structure, so that makes it easy to use.
In property, which we have given a properties get set, and if we have 3 properties, so it is not necessary to have the same name, or we can keep any name.
You could add one more property here if you want to. Public integer, for example, so we don't need to have just strings. So you could have any type. We could say that this is the year, and we do the get set here. We're gonna check more about this get set, what they could do also. I think we will leave it for now. So we're just gonna run with this get set. So
Okay.
But now we have added one more property here. We see the constructor is only having brand and model. And so our code is still usable. So we could add, for example, I could add a new constructor. You remember they could have many constructors inside here, inside the class. So I could use the Visual Studio to help me right click, choosing the quick actions, refactorings, and generate constructor again here. you will see there is also another generic constructor, and this is the default constructor if you want to have it. So without any properties. But I'm going to choose this one again, the same thing as previous. And I'm going to choose what members to have, what input parameters. So I say that I want all of these. And select OK. And you will see this is looking a little bit strange now. It's only having year inside here. So it's starting to do something that we haven't gone through yet. So I'm going to remove this section so far. So we will come in later on what this means actually. So, but you could write it like this instead also. This will do the same thing. So this is easier to read. So now you have 3 properties inside here. So now if I go back to my code section where I'm creating cars, you see we have nothing red indicating that something is wrong, and we check the error list. Yeah, it's 0 errors, so everything is still runnable. So, but we could add like add a new car. We could do it here. We call it car 3, for example, telling that this is a new car. And now we get the option to choose from 2 different ways to enter data. And this is the constructors that are giving me this option. So the first one is having 2 properties, brand and model. Oh, sorry. And the second one is having 3 properties. It's brand, model, and year. So we could get another Volvo. We could another model here. So and now we could use the 3rd parameter also, telling that this is from 1980, for example. So now we have, we could add this one also to the list. Cars, add car 3. Now you will realize that we have a mix here with some cars just have 2 properties and 1 car is having 3 properties now. So you could do it, you could go here in the console right line where we are printing out data. We could add some more properties here. Or year property. Will this work? What's happening when we are printing out these ones? They don't have any year. Will it crash? What do you think?
No.
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 So we try it and see what's happening. You will see I get 0 here. I haven't added 0 for a year. And that is because the integer, it's using the default value for an integer. Because integer is a number. So it has to be a number. And it could not access, it's not possible to have an empty integer. That will not work. It will work if you do it in a different way, but we're not going to do it right now. I'm just going to show you what's happening. So you will always have, like, when you add a new property, this class will always have these properties. They will be in the, for example, with this car 1, for example, it will have this year also, but even if you don't add it. So if this year would have been a string, for example, then it could have been empty. But it would still have an empty value. So maybe I'm making it more difficult for you now, but we could always access the thing with a year later on for this car one, for example. So I could year and add it like 1981, for example. And I could do the same for the car number 2 also. Accessing the car 2 object and accessing the property and telling it something 1982, for example. So instead of getting the default value of 0, so now I added data to all the properties. Or I could use the new constructor here also, so I could have added a year in the end here, like we did with this one. So this is a little bit of how it's working with the objects. So we could try this to see that it's working actually. So you will see now that we have data for all of these. I think Sayed, you're having your microphone on.
Yes.
So a class could have as many properties as, I think there's no limit. Yeah, maybe some limit with the memory on the computer is enough, but you could have as many properties as you want in a class. So you need to think when you have a class, what properties do I need inside, and what data do I want to be created when I create one new object out of it. So these constructors are telling us what we have to do. And you will see if we just have these constructors, so I'm going to comment the first one away, then you will get 2 errors right away in the error list, telling you that something that it's not the year, it's complaining about the year. And that is because if you go up in the code, you will have the faulty ones highlighted with the red line below. So this, you could go over this and it says it requires 3 inputs. So with 2 strings and 1 integer. So it's requiring year inside here. So this could be easily fixed by doing it the same way as we did it down here. So then it's not possible to do this way because we have no constructor that is allowing us to do this. Do you see what the constructor is doing actually? So because we took away these lines, we only have 1 constructor, and this is telling that we have to have 3 different inputs in them. Otherwise, we cannot create a new object out of the car class. So taking away this this commenting, it stopped complaining again. So now it's possible to have this way of writing or creating a new object. And this is because we now have 2 constructors. One that takes 2 properties, brand and model, and one that takes 3 properties, brand, model, and year. So these are used to create new objects. So if you have these constructors, you need to use it the way they are meant to. Do you have any questions on this? We're gonna do some more things in the afternoon with this. We're gonna make an application where we could enter this data, so we could add the brand, the model, and maybe year in a console. So we take the input from that and we add it to objects, and we're gonna add the objects to a list, and we're gonna print out the list, and we're also gonna have something called link. You will see what link is and how it's useful also. With this said, this will help you a lot when this week's checkpoint is coming up. So if you have a look on these things that we are going through each week, you will have a lot of information for the upcoming exercises. So this week's exercise will be named checkpoint number 2. So it's similar to the first one you did, but we are going to add some lists and some objects and some classes into it. So if you don't have any questions, go on with the links you're having. I hope there was a new link today also. And remember, you could use all of the links that are already for tomorrow and so on, if there is. So you can mix them, and maybe easy to understand another one, because they are getting like the plural sites. They are getting pretty advanced after a while. So maybe just watch the first part of them. So no questions. It was too easy, I think. We have to make it really difficult for the afternoon. So see you at 1 o'clock then.
Yeah, see you.
Okay, bye.
See ya. Bye.